Hello, lovelies, and welcome to episode 2 of the Diagnose Bravo podcast. I am your host, Morrie,
And Demi,
and today we're going to talk about the greatest episode of all time. All time.
greatest episode.
It is Salt Lake City, season 4, episode 16. Is this the finale?
It is certainly the finale, girl.
All
You
right.
know Salt Lake City, they'll leave all the good shit to the last episode.
All right. This is great because right now we're in a spot where the episode happened this past Wednesday. Because we stream it on Peacock, and the
Amen.
reunion is next week. So we haven't had the reunion yet, which, whew, we could dive into possible reunion questions, but we just wanted to talk about this episode. Watching this episode, I was eating the popcorn so fucking fast. The more intense it got, the more I was chewing that fucking popcorn. All
Bro,
right.
amazing.
So I gotta know, Demi, what was your initial thought when everything started, everything kicked off, and once it ended? Like, how, walk me through how you were feeling.
I don't even know how I was feeling because, well, like you said, we watch on Peacock, so it's definitely 24 hours behind it showing up on Bravo. Um, And so I'm an avid TikToker. I was already seeing things on TikTok, but I try not to watch too many things. So I already had known that she was reality Von Teese. I didn't really know the significance of what that meant. So I was like, okay, it seems dramatic. Don't really know what that means. I guess I'll figure it out. I, this episode was everything. Like, this these franchises needs to take notes. Potomac needs to take notes. Beverly Hills needs to take notes. Atlanta needs to be rebooted, but they also need to take notes. Everybody needs to see how this episode played out and copy that shit because this was amazing. This season had a beginning, it had a middle, it had an end. There are threads where you were like, damn, I gotta go back and see all of these things. When fucking Monica was like, yeah, I would run a fan page to talk shit about y'all. And to find out that she actually ran a fan page to talk shit about people, fucking amazing. Chef's kiss. No notes. I have zero notes. There is nothing bad I can say about this fucking episode, bro. Amazing. Um, Honestly, everyone ate. Heather, and I already mentioned last episode, I had been having feelings about Heather since last season because I really felt like she let a lot of her fans down. With just the way that she was riding so hard for Jen Shaw, and I just did not understand why she had so much Stockholm syndrome with this woman. But I was like, Heather usually, or at least how she portrayed herself to be, was really genuine. I mean, she is a thick mama. A lot of the housewives aren't thick in the way that she is thick. Um, so to see her representation in her body type was amazing. To see how she really talked about her religious trauma was amazing. Because a lot of people unfortunately do have a lot of religious trauma and we often don't speak about it. And she is in the same place that a lot of people are in, where their religion is has a lot to do with her culture. And so how do you redefine yourself when you walk away from your religion but you don't necessarily want to walk away from the culture? And I feel like she brought a fresh of breath air. She was so real. She was so genuine, so down to earth. She was quick to show her flaws, quick to show who she was. And I really liked that about her. What changed for me, like I said, was season 3, where I felt like she wasn't being genuine. The whole black eye thing really threw me for a loop because they teased it for like
The whole
it was like
season.
but it wasn't even the whole season. It was like whenever they did their cash trip, and it was like 3 or 4 fucking episodes of them just being like, and then this black eye, and then the next episode, and then this black eye, and then the next episode, and then this black eye, and it's like, what happened? It couldn't have been that long. Like, there's not that much information. This honestly could have been one episode, and they stretched it out and stretched it out so much, and it was like just to find out that she doesn't know what happened. I was like, you're lying. Stop playing in our faces. You're lying. We know you're lying. And if there's one thing that Bravo audiences do not like, they do not like being lied to. We can see it in how we feel about certain aspects of Potomac. When it comes to Juan Dixon roommate, we can see it when it comes to Erica and how she was playing in our faces for a little bit. Like we do not like being lied to as if we're stupid. And that's why I feel like a lot of people didn't fuck with Heather at that point. That's why I didn't fuck with Heather for a little minute, because I felt like she thought the audience was stupid and like we're not. So yeah. I'm sorry, God, I got so distracted.
I like how, okay, so I have a couple of notes on Miss Heather. I think that she's also another housewife who has a lot of growth because of the show. I think that book was a form of therapy for her. And just to be clear, everybody, we did not read that book yet. However, Spotify, and we're not sponsored by Spotify. However, Spotify does have a premium version where now you can listen to ebooks, and that's one of the
really.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on there.
Mm-hmm.
We won't read that shit.
And it's on and I have premium. That's what I was saying. We should get the duo and then just use the Spotify, and you could be on the Spotify. Yeah, I'm trying to get you.
But I have YouTube Music.
It's okay. You'll convert someday.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. Yeah, so I really liked how she has also became more independent.
Yes.
And I think that her speaking up at this episode was amazing. And to backtrack just a little bit on my reaction, how I felt about it all. Again, I was like recklessly eating popcorn while watching this shit. And I think that Heather did an amazing job. I think that her orchestrating everyone meeting up beforehand, her doing her homework, top tier investigator.
Traumatic.
Like this is round of applause, because this is one of those moments where you see those the snaps and the claps, because it was one of those moments where, you know, you'll watch like memes or whatever the fuck, and they're saying women are top tier investigators and they'll be able to stalk you into your ancestry. That's some type of shit that Heather did, bro. Because if she were to stop asking all the questions she kept asking herself, they wouldn't be able to have this episode. Heather was like, but why? But who? But why? And the fact that it led here to such a messy situation, because I did not read the Reality Von T's Instagram. We're not going to read that on this podcast because I refuse to give that channel more attention than it already has. But it's the fact that that's that element there. It's the element of you stealing in Meredith's store.
Not the stealing in the store.
On the camera, no less.
Damn, with the blonde hair.
Yeah, that blonde.
That was good for fucking her. Wild.
That is. And then there's the trying to destroy marriages and her saying, well, I wasn't the only one doing it. But it's your silence is just as enabling. You're an accomplice in all of that. Even if you did say, y'all, we shouldn't do this, and you still continue with it anyway. Like,
here's the thing. I'm gonna stop you there, friend.
Okay.
And maybe this is just the messy, toxic side of me, but I don't feel like that was necessarily her responsibility. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, they, as in the Salt Lake City women, they were not her friends at the time. She didn't owe those women any fucking loyalty. Now, like I said, I personally also did not read Reality Von T's. I don't really know what was said. So if there's information that I'm missing, definitely call me out on it. But based on what I have seen from TikToks and Instagrams that have reposted all the information, it genuinely fucking hell, Discord. It definitely does seem like they were just collateral damage. They were a means to an end. And
Okay.
although, like, as people, you know, you would think that you would have more responsibility for your fellow man and whoop de woo, but it really just seemed like she had a mission. Her mission was to take down Jen Shaw. And if she had to talk shit about everybody else in order for that to happen, she was going to do it. And I do feel like it's a little bit like you're yelling in her face when she didn't know you at the time, but it's like these blogs be talking shit all the time and they say a lot worse and they make up shit. At least
Mm-hmm.
the shit that she was saying was true. Again, from what I've seen, it seems like the shit that was being said was true. If that's different, you know, let us know. But it seems like the shit that was being said was true. It was recordings, it was videos, it was woo de woo. But I personally don't feel like it was her responsibility to say, like, yo, don't talk shit about those women that I don't know and don't really give a fuck about. I have a mission. I'm here to do some shit. And if you want to be on the side doing your own shit, then that's your business. And I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do over here. But you know, that's just me. Like, I feel like for what it was, we're trying to make Monica seem like a better person than she is, and
Okay.
she's not.
That's true. She has shown her colors. I don't think she's ever hid parts of herself, because for her to even admit, yeah, I'd be the type to run a fake account, that's that's not you denying the truth. That's you telling them flat out, I would do some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's different from saying I would do some shit like that to I did some shit and this is the information. That's where, you know, the lies come in and all that stuff. But I'm wondering what other people think. Listeners, let us know. Do you think Monica should have told them, should not have told them? I think that it's just so shitty to be a part of such a downfall and then come back to their group, um and just act like, yeah, we're all good, we're all friends.
I
It's
do agree with you there.
Yeah, it's
That
giving.
that's weird as fuck. Like, that's very weird behavior. Like, I will say that at the time when she was doing it and she didn't know them personally, it is what it is. Let bygones be bygones. But as soon as you're around these women, you're around their kids, you're around their families, you started to know them on a personal basis. You got these bitches' numbers. We kikiing, we going to lunch and shit.
You
At
met my
some
mama.
point, facts, like you met people's mamas. At some point, you should have been like, look, back in the day, I was doing some shiesty shit. I regret, you know, using you as collateral, but here's what the fuck I had to do in order to get done my mission, and it just is what it is. Now, I really feel like if she really wanted to stand 10 toes down on it, she should have, and she should have told the girls, like, this is what the fuck is up, if she really believed in honesty. But then again, it wouldn't have made us good TV. So we can
That's
sit here
true.
and debate it, but this shit was lit. So
It was. I'm here for the messiness, and I would not have had it any other way if you want to be honest.
mm-hmm.
Because what I think about is her latest post on Instagram where she's burning down the newspapers saying that she's reality Von Teese and all that stuff. Like she's standing 10 toes down, but I think she's doing it because of the fan base that she's getting. If you
Yeah.
look on her Instagram now, the night that that episode aired, it's her reblogging everyone's reaction, and most of the reactions were positive reactions. So I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
of course, she's in it for the shock value,
Yeah.
which, to diagnose low key, if you think about it, she's used to that type of dynamic based on who her mother has portrayed as.
Mm-hmm.
Shock value,
Her mother
betrayal,
is different.
disrespect. Her
Mm-hmm.
mother is different.
No loyalty whatsoever.
Yes. And we should actually have an episode for disrespectful mothers of Bravo.
Oh, disrespectful mothers of Bravo. We could talk about it, Miss Joyce. We could talk about it, Candy. Not Candy, because I just talked about Candy. Fucking Candace Mama, whose name also escapes me because she's just wildly disrespectful. We could talk about Erica's mama. Wow, that lady, different. Not as different as Candace mama, to be completely honest with you. I don't think Erica's
Yes,
mama
no.
ever hit her upside the head with a purse. But these Bravo mamas are different. Are there any? I don't know if there's any other ones. Um, oh, we could also, I know you've never watched Miami, but I saw season 1 and maybe 2 of Miami.
Mhm.
Lord, I saw it so long ago. I don't remember this woman's name. But the mama that had all the plastic surgery, she was actually
Oh,
cool though.
I
She
know who
was
you're talking
cool.
about.
I don't think she was all that toxic. Like, she, clearly had her struggles, but she was funny as fuck. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I
Mhm.
enjoyed watching the shit out of her. She was really funny. R.I.P. to that mama, because I know that she has since passed.
Yeah.
But she was fucking funny. When I saw her on the TV, I was dying every time.
Yeah, maybe I should
So
watch.
I would say that she's probably one of the best mamas out there. Other than that, I don't know who else's mama is out there who's out here shaking this shit like the way Monica's mother was.
Yeah, she means everything she says. And like I see that attitude manifested in Monica.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what she knows. She's with the chaos. This is a good time for
Mm-hmm.
her. So she's monetizing on something that she's probably already fucking used to.
She was
Um,
born and bred in chaos.
yeah, so I think that um that's a big element to her behavior, her reaction. um and some people they like their villainera, they like their little villainous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely too mad at Monica. I think that she had an end goal. I just think that what she did was a little snaky, because I don't think she
Mm-hmm.
considered how
The
I think,
fallout.
yeah, the fallout. Like she said that she thought about this day and stuff, but I think she's still thinking very egocentrically,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is not the goal. The goal was to be a part of this group. And when you are in this group, it's important to consider the other person. And I think
Mm-hmm.
all the housewives have issues with that because they got their own shit going on.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of them don't consider, like, they're just not considerate of each other. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just so bizarre. Like, I've never seen just a gaggle of women, because there's just so many of them, who are just so inconsiderate of each other's marriages, of each other's lifestyles, of each other's money, like circumstances, upbringing, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And um I think, although, like I said, the women were collateral damage, at the end of the day, like, how much are you willing to do in order to get to your end goal? Just like we talked about Phaedra, like, how much of your soul are you willing to lose? And I think oftentimes a lot of these women lose sight of the fact that they are literally losing parts of themselves, losing parts of their humanity, or losing parts of their souls, or losing parts of their heart or their youth, or whatever the case may be, in order to bring the ratings. And I've never had to make a choice like that. I am a humble 9 to 5er, but maybe if I was on one of these shows, I'd make similar choices. So I can't say whether or not that's something that I would do, but it's just something to think about. Like, how much are you willing to give up of yourself? How many people are you willing to sacrifice in order to get the bag? I don't know, but it seems like a lot of these people are willing to do it.
Yeah, curse of Bravo. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's extremely important. A lot of the decision making that happens across this show, this platform, this series,
Yeah.
um, which, like you're saying, I'm also a 9 to 5er, so I wouldn't know. I just know to wake up. I just know to roll over onto my little desk and do my little job and keep
Mm-hmm.
keep it
Clickety
pushing.
clack.
Yeah, I don't have the weight of what they're going through and vice versa. So
Mm-hmm.
you
I
never
don't got a
know.
portfolio or a train or a plane. I just got little old me and my cats.
Facts. We both have two cats, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just that's all we got. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good point to bring up. I also think that Heather finally speaking out about this black eye, because y'all don't understand. Me and Demi didn't even watch season 3 reunion. Um,
Did we even finish the finale?
I finished the finale.
We
I
that was I think that was one of the very few seasons that we didn't watch together in its entirety.
Yeah, because we were so bored with it, but I felt committed to finish because I was trying to be hopeful. But then by the finale, I was like, we still don't know about this fucking eye, bro. I was over it. I was pissed. And I was like, all right, let's see if the reunion would bring something. And I think the reunion was a two-parter. I watched the first one and like 5 seconds of the second one, and I was like, this is boring as shit. There was nothing going on. I was not feeling it. I just feel more baited than I did for the entire season, and I did not watch it. I did not finish it. So when 4 came, we both had our doubts on just like, do we even want to watch this shit?
Yeah. I personally was surprised that they didn't get canceled.
Same.
Oh my god, I'm dying. I figured that they were gonna get a 4th season to see if they really were gonna close the final nail on the coffin. But I was like, if this shit don't change, they canceling after season 4. And so long, Salt Lake City.
I felt the same. I was very surprised they came back. But then when I saw the intro and I saw Monica on there, I had no idea who she was, but I know that they off the bat first episode, Monica's out here saying that she was a snitch during the trial. So I was like, okay, so there must be some juiciness here. And as we watched, it just got more wild. So I will say production did the damn thing.
Yo, production has been killing it lately.
Yes.
I don't know if they have a new production or if they train these motherfuckers on how to produce, but they have been receipts, timeline, proof, everything. They've been pulling up in the archives and showing the past conversations. They've been pulling up with everything, with the text messages, with the videos, with the camera footage, everything. And I'm living for production. The sound effects, bro, when Heather was like bong bong bong, I was like, not sound effects.
Yes.
Okay, not sound effects, production. I'm living for it. They are doing a great job. Production for them, production for Potomac. They have just been killing the game, and I'm here for it all 2024.
100%. It was an amazing time, especially to your point where you were saying earlier about the beginning, middle, and end. It was doing fucking flashbacks. It was rewinding. Bro, it was forwarding. I was like, okay.
There was, bro. This is what Game of Thrones should have been, bro. This is the quality of TV that season 8 of Game of Thrones should have been. This shit was crazy. It was cohesive. There was a storyline. There was a beginning, a middle, and end. Everything that you could possibly want out of a TV show. Season 4 of Salt Lake City brought the shit. And like I said, no fucking notes. I have nothing to say. Everything was positive. I fucking loved it.
Fact. It was a great time. That shit had my heart pumping.
Lord, I was shaking in my boots.
Movie. Yeah, man. That shit was shooketh. So great. So of course that's why we had to make it our first official episode or our first episode out of the intro, because again, this is the greatest episode of all time. One of the biggest things that keeps coming up as a topic is, okay, so what now with Monica? And I'm wondering how you feel about her returning to the show. Because what I think that she brought a lot of good drama. I do believe she saved the show.
She did. Her and Heather.
Yeah, because Heather was on her shit, bro.
God save the queen. Yes.
Top tier, both of them. I think that she should return, and I want to say some growth for her. I do. But where I'm afraid is, do they want her back?
Yeah. Now, you see, I originally was like, yeah, I want her back. Yeah, I want her back. And it's not to say that it has changed, but now I'm wondering, just like you said, how is she going to come back? I agree. She saved the show. She came here to shake and bake, and she fucking did the thing. But who's going to want to film with her is the question. I've heard that Heather refuses to film with her.
Damn.
I think that's unfortunate. I mean, I can't say that I don't understand why. Like, if I was Heather, I probably wouldn't want to film with her either. But what I don't want this to be is a Potomac situation, because what I feel like is the downfall of Potomac right now is that they all refuse to film with each other, and the cast is so fucking divided. And I don't want that for Salt Lake City, because one of the best things about them is that they are truly an ensemble cast. Like, they, even though they have their individual stuff and their individual beefs and their individual lunches and whatnot, they come together and they interact with each other. They kiki with each other. You know, they have their moments and stuff. Monica and Lisa were beefing the whole season, but there were moments where, you know, they had conversations. They really had heart to hearts. You know, they were really willing to hear each other out. They laughed with each other. They cried with each other. Love that. Heather, not Heather, Whitney and Lisa had their moments, and even Meredith, who was telling Angie K, "You can leave."
Yo, she was
like
crazy.
sitting at the same table, not really kikiing with her, like they didn't really speak, but at least they were in the same room and it wasn't tension filled. You know what I mean? Like she pleasantly and classily ignored that woman, but it wasn't tension filled. Unlike Potomac, where every single ensemble scene is tension filled.
Yeah.
It makes me feel nervous. It makes me feel upset. I'm just like, there's a lot of tension in my body. Oh, it's because I'm watching these bitches ignore each other for 45 minutes. So that's what I don't want. I don't want their level of ensemble to disintegrate because of this whole thing with Monica. And I think that that's maybe one of the reasons why she wouldn't come back. I would also love to see some growth from her. I would love to see her get some therapy. I would love to see her kick her mama out of her life. I would love to see her interact more with her kids because she is so real with her kids. I mean, this woman showed up in one of her very first scenes, messy bun, making breakfast in her sweats, in her car. And I live for it. She is the regular woman. Except regular women probably aren't as messy as she is. And so I really like that. I really hope that Monica comes back. But if it's going to create tension in the show, I don't think that it's going to last for very long. I'm hearing rumors from the Instagram that she got fired.
Damn.
I wouldn't be surprised if she got fired because
Same.
that's dubious. Like you telling me like the way that NECA is a fan of the show and got on the show is nothing compared to how Monica was a fan of the show and got on the show. This bitch plotted. She was out here playing chess when everybody else was out here fucking playing checkers. And the way that she bamboozled not only the network, Andy, Bravo, and the castmates, they're all looking here. They're kind of probably feeling a little stupid. Because if that press release that Bravo did or production did or whoever who said like we had no idea that this is what was going on, that shit is true, they're probably feeling a little stupid. So
yeah, I could see that.
I hope she honestly, I like Monica. I think she's fun. I think she's cute. I really like her vibe when she's not out here destroying people's lives. And I low-key want her to come back because she is messy and I live for it.
I like the messiness too, and I agree. I think that if she comes back with growth mindset and apologies, whether or not she's capable is the other question because of how
I think she might be.
She lives.
I think she might be capable of an apology.
If her and her mother no longer speak, I think that that's possible.
Facts.
I think as long as her mother is in her life, she will be incapable of growth because her mother has stunted her.
But girl, did you hear the voicemails? Not the voicemails. Well, yes, the voicemails
of the
and the recordings. Yes.
Yes. That shit was crazy.
Wild.
I'm gonna see if we can like paste it in here. If not, we could talk about it here also. But there was like a back and forth where they were talking about how one was doing too much or Monica was doing too much. That's what her mother was saying. And it seemed like there was a cohesive idea that they were both going to be on this show, how they were going to be portrayed, and how they did this together. So her mother seems to be on it, be in on it since the jump, since before show. And again, that's why I made that statement of if her mother was out of the picture, then maybe she's possible of growth. However, again, her mother is just as much with the crazy.
Oh yeah. Her mother's bad shit.
So I feel like her mother would just be like, this is what we should do for next season because she's a puppeteer. So yeah, that's the video that we're referencing. Highly recommend watching just because them going back and forth is always wild, but this particular conversation was very telling on Monica's mother's involvement, which was wild. In terms of the reunion, which is next week, I've come up with 3 questions that I want answered, either want answered or think that it'll pop up. First question, Monica, did you pay your beauty lab bill?
Damn.
I gotta know. Because from and that was something else that was in the theme of Monica's fraud or fraudulence. On top of her being that account or being a part of that account, on top of her stealing from Meredith's store, there are 3 separate Monicas at Heather's beauty lab, and Heather was looking into getting her a gift card for her birthday. So when she went to go find the account to apply the gift card balance, is when she found that there are 3 Monicas and one of them owes an outstanding bill. So I gotta know, did you pay your bill?
Curious. I don't know if she did, because isn't one of them suing the other or some shit? I think so. I think Monica is suing Beauty Lab. Or
did she not pay her bill because of how dissatisfied of the service she was?
Well, she said that they botched her. From what I remember, she said that they botched whatever the fuck she got from them, and that's why she didn't pay. And I think, and you know what's crazy is because, y'all, my husband's calling me, but we gonna decline him. Girl, can we pause real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so when I had originally saw the scene where they were like, oh my God, it's her, da, 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 when she's like talking on the phone and she's kicking production out, I originally thought it was her finding out that Monica was suing Beauty Lab. So to find out that this was a whole completely different shit, again, amazing production, because they had me bamboozled. I was just here thinking that Monica was a broke bitch. She wasn't here out here paying her bills, all this stuff. And I was like, oh shit, she's suing them because she ain't paying her bills. But to find out that it was just something completely different, I was like, oh wow. Amazing. Do I think she paid her bill? No, I don't think she paid her bill. But that's a good question. I hope they ask her that.
Me too, because Andy be out here sometimes with a hit or miss.
We should submit questions.
We should. I do have a Twitter, or we can like create a Twitter for our podcast and then go from there.
Yeah.
The other one, some questions, is Lisa. Do you really think middle class can buy a $60,000 ring?
Lisa's so out there, bro. She's so out of touch with reality. It's fucking amazing.
I need her to genuinely answer this question.
Who she fucking reminds me of? Who? She reminds me of that lady from Arrested Development. The mom.
The mother?
What's the mom's name? Lucille Blues, bro. And she's like, how much does a gallon of milk cost these days? Like $10? That is fucking Lisa. Lisa is just so fucking out of touch about what is happening in the real world that I'm okay with that. Like, you don't have to be in touch because you are just on a different stratosphere of monetary gains that I will just never understand. So supposedly middle class can afford a $60,000 ring. I mean, I feel like that's how much my master's cost.
Yep. She really was out here. Like, yes, they can. And I appreciate that level of Delulu. Oh, hold on. Yeah, so that was my second question. My last question is, after the whole scenario, after the season finale, besides Monica, has anybody else gotten closer since that happened? Because I thought it was a little funny how everyone was gravitating towards Lisa Barlow, for like Heather and Whitney, and how they're like, Lisa's my friend. No, Lisa's my friend. And so I'm just wondering, did anybody get closer to each other? Did anyone figure out something of themselves? Like, I'm just wondering how the dynamic is between them, since they've all had something to share like a pain that they've shared. And I'm just wondering where that is right now.
Well, I don't think they have gotten closer. If what I suspect is true, because they do say, that they haven't hung out as a group since that whole dinner, um, until up until the reunion, which is not really them hanging out, it's them fulfilling their contractual agreements. But I feel like this really fragmented them. I feel like they don't necessarily know how to trust each other. Um, I don't know. I don't know if it brought any of them closer together. Maybe individually it has, but I feel like this kind of really messed with everyone's heads, and they're just lost in the sauce.
Well, I think that's a very astute observation, and I didn't know by um that trailer of the reunion if he meant a group including Monica or a group not including Monica. Um,
Yeah.
hold on. But yeah, so I think that I wish for them that they can just have that. I think that
Yeah.
they deserve that. I think they deserve that community, especially because their group has been broken for so long, by
Jen
so many
Shaw.
other external factors like Jen
Yeah.
Shaw, like the show playing with them. And I think that they deserve to have each other's back.
Yeah.
These women are very like siloed in their culture, and it's important to have female friends and a female support system. And I hope
Yeah.
that this makes them stronger and not breaks them down.
Yeah.
Um, and like they deserve that. So
Mm-hmm.
those were all my questions. What questions do you want to pop up during the reunion?
Um, I mean, obviously, I want to know about the Jen Shaw of it all and the black eye situation and why Heather felt like she had to ride or die so hard for this woman. What is it about Jen Shaw that makes these women go crazy for her? Like, I've
Fear.
never like loved or hated Jen Shaw. I mean, up until I found out how much crazy such stuff she was doing. But like she's turned me off since the beginning because she's just genuinely batshit.
And mean.
Like, she's genuinely fucking
She
crazy.
was never enjoyable. She was always chaotic and in a way where
Yes,
it's like
not
embarrassing.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad. Um, like, I mean, even Lisa Rinna, who I don't enjoy as much, like even I enjoyed her sometimes. Like she made me laugh. Like Jen Shaw just did not do that for me. There's just something so like unhinged about this woman. And I just didn't, I never understood what was about her that they all felt the need to do so much for. I don't care. I love you so much, girl. If you punch me in the fucking face, I'm not lying for you. Like, what is this?
Facts.
like,
Big facts.
I'm not doing it.
I have more
No,
self-respect than that.
right. Like, I'm not gonna call the cops on you or nothing, but I'm sure the shit not gonna lie about it. Yeah, that bitch Morrie, she punched me in the face. She did. She did. I don't know why she did that shit, but she did it. And I'ma just tell y'all that she just punched me in the fucking face. Amen. Period. But like,
Yeah.
I can't get behind the whole like protecting your friends in that way. I don't know. There's just something about that never seemed right. Something about the way that they were just all up her ass was just so bizarre to me. And I just want to know why Jen Shaw? Like, what about this woman? Because clearly she didn't have the money to pay y'all. So what about this woman was just so enticing that we surrounded our lives around her? Like, I can't wait to see the true crime novel, the true crime documentary about this woman.
Oh, that would be an amazing thing to watch.
I surely would.
Like how they did for Erica from
Mm-hmm.
Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
But yeah, I think that's an amazing question. Because they didn't touch on that. I feel like they're still healing from it and they don't talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. Like They're just like, listen, we don't talk about Jen Shaw.
We don't talk about Jen Shaw. Oh no, no.
Like, it's just,
I can't.
my cats are out here in my office fighting. Since, as mentioned, we both have 2 cats. Both of them are wild.
Why are they
Away
fighting?
cats.
Kick them out.
Because Jinx is a menace.
Every day of his cat life.
Every day. But yeah. Anything else you want to add into today's session?
Yeah. Angie K. Angie K. I did not understand what the purpose of her was in the finale. Like outside of, she was on the group trip, whatever, whatever. But like, was it just me or was it super weird the way she got so angry? Like, it
felt
was
almost
so bizarre.
Yeah,
It
it felt
was
pick me.
overkill.
Yeah, it felt pick me.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like I want to share the struggles of these women because I'm new and this is wrong and this is an opportunity to show them that I care about them.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know if that was the moment to do it, if that was your intention. I think
Right.
you should have had offline or not in this situation and be like, listen, I was there for that dinner. All of that was fucked. How can I support you? That's
Right.
different than reacting when they're reacting. This is their moment,
Mm-hmm.
not your moment. And not only was it not your moment, you were one of the people commenting
Mm-hmm.
facts. Oh, this is
Interacting.
hilarious. Interacting, basically
Right.
enabling
Right.
that account.
Right.
It's fuel.
Right.
Every follower, every person that was responding, and we don't know the full amount of individuals who were responding and not responding, but it's the fact that, again, receipts, proof, screenshots, timeline, fucking everything.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the screenshots replying to that account about the gossip that was being spread.
Right.
And even if it wasn't about one of the ladies at that table, it's the fact that you were interacting because,
Mm-hmm.
again, they attacked multiple people and that
Yeah.
collateral is still a person.
Mm-hmm.
So
It was just so weird. Like, she was so quiet, and then all of a sudden she was like, shit, 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 shit. And I was like, what is happening? And then she lifted up the flowers as if she was gonna do something. And I was
shove it
just
down her
looking at her
throat.
like, what are you doing? Because we all know you're not gonna fight this woman. Like, we all know that you, Angie K, are not about that life. Miss Greek Mafia extraordinaire, you are not about that life. So what were you doing? What was the reason? What was the reason? What was the reason? Why did you feel the need to pick that up? What were you trying to do with it? It seemed so out of place. Like, it seemed like a jump scare. Like, we had Heather and Monica talking, and Heather and Monica are getting into it. And then all of a sudden, this woman is just like, yeah, because da, 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 and I'm about to throw these flowers at you. And you're just like, wait, what? Like, what are you doing? I forgot
Yeah,
she was there.
me too.
I forgot she was there for the
Because it
most
wasn't her
part.
moment.
It
It was
wasn't.
not her moment. And then for Monica to be like, listen, I know what you
Listen,
also
Linda.
know. Yes, listen, Linda. She was not listening. She was not listening.
She
She was doing
surely
her
was
own
not.
thing. And that's why it was
Mm-hmm.
giving me pick me. I think she got caught up in her intention and not
Mm-hmm.
in the moment. Because if you were caught up
Yeah.
in the moment, you would have been there like everybody else with their jaw dropped.
Mm-hmm. Stuck. Because
Stuck.
even Lisa didn't have much to say. Like,
Shit,
up
she was
until
probably processing.
she was up until a certain point. But can we talk about the leather skinned Donald Trump fan?
Okay. All right. Yes, we have to because I'm not surprised Lisa is a Trump fan.
You know, she voted for what's his name? The cannibal extraordinaire. What's his name? What's
Cannibal
up, man?
extraordinaire.
Yeah, was he a cannibal?
Are you
Or
talking
no,
about
the
Ted Cruz?
Zodiac killer. The
Ted
Zodiac killer.
Cruz.
Ted Cruz.
You know, I
Yes.
understood what you were saying just because I was like, which president or which president candidate has had such serial killer associations? Yes, Ted Cruz, the Zodiac killer.
Ted Cruz.
I'm not surprised.
Allegedly,
Think
allegedly
about
a
it.
Zodiac killer.
Allegedly. And think about it. Like in this series, she has shown that she acts like the 1%. Um,
Yeah.
she has a business. She thinks that middle class can afford $60,000 rings. She ain't voting Democrat. She's not doing
She
that.
lives in Utah.
She
The
lives in
only
Utah.
person that I think may vote Democrat is like Heather because of how much she loves black men,
Facts.
which
Heather's invited to the cookout.
which is a different discussion on a different day. But other than that, we all know that Meredith is a Republican. Whitney, as peace and love as she is, we know that lady's a Republican. Come on now.
Even if that evil wasn't mentioned, like voting for Trump, I think that's an evil. Think about like her son going on the mission. And I'm not one to judge other people's religious practices as much as I get attacked as a pagan. However, I do think that going on a mission is imperialistic. It's imposing yourself onto people who didn't ask for it. It's nothing but bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it spreads white agenda. And in this case, like, of course, if this is what she's installing in her family, this is what's traditionally happening in her family, even probably before her, of course she would vote for Trump. Like there's just a pairing that I would notice there. And I mean, to each their own, I guess. It just sucks that's the direction that you go in. And I think that's the biggest thing for Heather when that conversation happened between them, because she has her own feelings about it, where she feels the same. Her youth was a bit stripped. She was out. It's not for the weak of heart. It's not for it's not for a common folk.
2 years in a different country. Well, I think some of them do stay in America, but 2 years stripped away from your parents, that's a fucking long time, especially when you're that young. I think they usually go on missions when they're like 18 and then come back when they're like 20 or 21 or something like that. I mean, those are formidable years. Like, those are years that you generally go to college to find yourself, and instead you're, being shipped somewhere to learn a language that you don't know, to serve people that you don't know, and to live humbly. And that's not somewhere that I've ever been led to do. I couldn't do that, but that's a time where like you generally are finding yourself and you're going out and experiencing things, and that is definitely a different thing to experience. So honestly, I feel for her son. I feel for anyone who's been on a mission because they feel like they're led to. And there are other implications. I definitely don't agree with going to different countries, especially countries where people of color are predominant and spreading God's word, for lack of a better phrase. But these are kids, and it's ridiculous how often we use kids to like spread our own agendas and stuff like that. But
yeah, 100% agree. So that's like tough stuff. And I'm not surprised this pairing is with someone like Lisa, with all of those things of her. She's clearly Delulu. But that's that's her normal, and that's probably normal in that culture of Utah. And we're in New York, where we're doing whatever the fuck we want and how we like to do it. And
we like to watch the Book of Mormon. We don't like to participate in it.
Yes, so well put. That's our wrap up on the greatest episode of all time, which is the Salt Lake City season 4, episode 16, which is the season finale. Wondering what y'all think, how y'all feel about it. Let us know. Drink water, do something y'all enjoy today.
Make good choices, go outside, touch grass.
Touch grass as fuck.
Yeah, it's hard out here, and it's cold as shit. So maybe get some fake grass in your house and just touch that. A grass wall. Put up a grass wall. How about that?
Yeah, this is better than outdoors right now. This winter shit sucks. Back and forth snow and rain. Anyway, bye y'all. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Deuces.
just make good choices. And I mean, like, even with the way that this is, even if that evil wasn't mentioned, like voting for Trump, I think that's an evil.
Yeah.
um think about like her son going on the mission. And I'm not one to judge other people's religious practices as much
Mm,
as um I get attacked as a pagan. However, I do think that going on a mission is imperialistic. It's imposing yourself onto people who didn't ask for it. It's nothing but bad, in my opinion.
yeah.
And it spreads white agenda. And um in this case, like, of course, if this is what she's installing in her family, this is what's traditionally happening in her family, even probably before her, of course she would vote for Trump. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's just a pairing that I would notice there. um
Yeah.
and I mean, to each their own, I guess. It just sucks that's the direction that you go in. And I think that's the biggest thing for Heather when that conversation happened between them, because she has her own feelings about it, where she feels the same. Her youth was a bit stripped. She was out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for the weak of hearts, not
It's
for,
not.
yeah, it's not for common folk.
Two
Like,
years in a different country. Well, I think some of them do stay in America, but 2 years stripped away from your parents, that's a fucking long time, especially when you're that young. I think they usually go on missions when they're like 18 and then come back when they're like 20 or 21 or something like that. I mean,
yeah,
those are formidable years. Like those are years that you generally go to college to find yourself, and instead you're, being shipped somewhere to learn a language that you don't know, to serve a people that you don't know, and to live humbly. And that's not somewhere that I've ever been led to do. um I couldn't do that, but that's a time where like you generally are finding yourself and you're going out and experiencing things, and that is definitely a different thing to experience. So honestly, I feel for her son. I feel for anyone who's been on a mission
yeah,
because they feel like they're led to. And there are other implications. I definitely don't agree with going to different countries, especially countries where people of color are predominant and spreading um God's word, for lack of a better phrase. But these are kids, and it's ridiculous how often we use kids to like spread our own agendas and stuff like that. But
yeah. 100% agree. Um, so that's like tough stuff. And I'm not surprised this pairing is with someone like Lisa, with all of those things of her. She's clearly Delulu. But that's her
yeah.
normal. And that's probably normal in that culture of Utah. And we're in New York, where we're doing whatever the fuck we want and how we like to do it.
Hmm.
And
We
it's,
like to watch the Book of Mormon. We don't like to participate in it.
yes, yes, so well put. But yeah, that's our wrap up on the greatest episode. Oh, hold on, because Devon, so we're gonna redo that.
Hmm.
That's our wrap up on the greatest episode of all time, which is the
Hmm.
Salt Lake City season 4, episode 16,
Yes,
which
yes,
is the
yes,
season finale.
yes.
Wondering what y'all think, how y'all feel about it. Let us know. Drink water, do something y'all enjoy today,
Yeah. Make good
and
choices. Go outside, touch grass.
touch grass as fuck. Yeah,
It's
don't
hard out
let
here, and it's cold as shit. So maybe get some
yeah.
fake grass in your house and just
Get some
touch
sun.
that. A grass wall. Put up a grass wall. How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah, this is better than outdoors right now. This winter shit sucks. Back and forth snow and rain.
Uh,
Anyway, bye y'all. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Deuces.